Hello guys, welcome back. Now today, I'm going to be talking about Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko and which prospect has the most NHL potential. Now Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko are the top two prospects heading into the 2019 NHL draft, and while both guys are fantastic players, which player has the most potential in the NHL? Watch till the end to find out. Now, the battle between Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko is going down as the best storyline heading into this 2019 NHL draft, and we're only a few months away now, pretty much only 3 months away from the draft actually happening, but it's still undecided whether Jack Hughes will go number 1 or Kaapo Kakko. But when it comes to potential, that is one of the closest categories between the two. Now, when it comes to both Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko, I personally believe that both guys will be NHL superstars. I think both of those guys can be top 10 NHL players at the same time throughout their careers. I think both of them are going to be absolutely fantastic. But as the months have gone by, Kaapo Kakko having an electric season in the Liga, Jack Hughes having a great season in the USDP, the question has become who has the better potential, and I think it is honestly a pretty close race right now. Between Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko, at the start of the year, I would have 100% said Jack Hughes, but Kaapo Kakko has made it a pretty close race. When it comes to Jack Hughes, he is still at age 17, going to turn 18 in May. And he is a center, and of course, in the USDP. He has had a great season so far, playing 35 games, getting 20 goals, 49 assists for a super nice 69 points, and the World Junior Championships with Team USA. He was injured a little bit, but ended up playing 4 games, got 4 assists, and looked amazing on the power play, I felt. But in the USDP, while it hasn't been as dominant as some people might have expected, he still had a very good season, while he's got some great teammates like Matthew Boldy, Cole Caulfield, Trevor Zegras. He still is in a company of his own for how well he's played. Now, switching over to Kaapo Kakko, his Liga season with TPS has just been phenomenal. Now, he has played 45 games so far, getting 22 goals, 16 assists for 38 points, and as an 18-year-old almost rookie in the Liga, he's just been straight dominant, putting up some amazing goal-scoring numbers of the likes of Sebastian Aho, Patrick Laine, and Alexander Barkov. So far, he's an elite company when it comes to Finnish-born U18 players, but right now, he's just killing it in the Liga, and for a guy that is still projected at number 2 by most people, he is putting up some certainly amazing numbers in the Liga. And of course, it doesn't just stop there. In the World Junior Championships team with Team Finland, he played 7 games, getting 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Of course, getting the golden goal for Team Finland, being the hero of that whole tournament. And he was fantastic as an 18-year-old. While Jack Hughes was great in the games that he played, Kaapo Kakko in that tournament was on a whole nother level, I thought. And when it came to his Liga stats, I would say that his Liga stats are more impressive than Jack Hughes' USDP stats. But when it came to Jack Hughes' stats, the excuses, I would say, were always that he had more potential, that he had more potential than Kaapo Kakko. That's what I said for quite a long time, but again, I think the distance between the two, potential-wise, is closer than ever. And while Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko might be the first overall pick and the second overall pick, their games are not similar whatsoever. Jack Hughes is a more smaller forward, very fantastic stick handling, but the skating is what makes him so great. I would say he's a top 10 skater if he entered the NHL right now. That's how good of a skater he is. Defensively, he's not bad whatsoever, can definitely man himself in the defensive end. He isn't much of a physical forward as he shouldn't be. He's like 5'10" or something. He's not going to be that physical guy, and when it comes to Kaapo Kakko, that's a much more different story. He uses some of his physicality to get some opportunities, get some offensive chances. We've seen that in the Liga so far, being able to score goals, being able to be in the crease, being able to be around the net and score those goals is what making him such a great prospect right now. And of course, the stick handling, the offensive IQ that he has is amazing. But when compared to prospects, again, they are almost completely different in the styles of play, but I do like Kaapo Kakko for his overall game a lot more than Jack Hughes right now. And I think something that has been more and more obvious as the year has gone on is that Kaapo Kakko, I would say, is a lot more NHL ready than Jack Hughes. While I think both players will be in the NHL year 1, I see Kaapo Kakko being almost an instant Calder candidate, while Jack Hughes might take some time to adjust to the NHL level. And that comes with some responsibilities, obviously. It depends on if a team maybe jumps up in the draft, gets the #1 overall pick, and wants the better player now. If they want the better player and the better overall player and and more ready player for the NHL, they will take Kaapo Kakko. But when it comes to Jack Hughes, he, again, has always offered more potential, I would say, and more potential to become that elite prospect. But again, I would say the race and the distance between the two is falling, and Jack Hughes has less of an argument than he did a couple of months ago. And again, as Kaapo Kakko has continued to produce amazingly in the Liga, play great in the World Junior Championships, while Jack Hughes, I still think might be the #1 overall pick, there is a lot of question right now about who it will be, either Jack or Kaapo. It is a huge question right now, and honestly, it's not one that I have a definitive answer to. If I had to say which one I'd rather take right now, I would still say Jack Hughes. But when it comes to the potential argument, Jack Hughes is starting to slip a little bit, as Kaapo Kakko, you really can't say that he has too much less potential because of how well he's played in the Liga so far and made a lot of men in that league look like babies. And we've seen this battle between the first overall pick and the second overall pick time and time again. We saw it recently with Nico versus Nolan. We saw in the past with Taylor versus Tyler. There's been a lot of duos and rivalries with the #1 overall pick and the second ranked prospect. And that's happened this year as well, as it's pretty much been a battle between Kaapo Kakko and Jack Hughes for the past year. And while I like guys like Dylan Cousins, I like guys like Trevor Zegras, I don't think they compare to either of those top two guys. And when we're comparing both of them, again, we gotta remember that both these guys will be amazing NHL players. I feel like both guys will be elite players for years to come. But again, the question of this video is who has more potential. And right now, again, I still think it's super hard to say as of right now, as both guys are playing amazingly. But if I had to give them a definitive answer on who actually has the most potential, at this point, I would still say Jack Hughes. And that's been my answer for pretty much 2 years now. Now, most of you guys know Kaapo Kakko is my favorite prospect in this 2019 NHL draft. I wish I could put him #1. But when it comes to Jack Hughes, from what I've seen in the USDP, from what I saw in the World Junior Championships, the guy is just dominant. Jack is just an amazing talent. From what the skills that he possesses offensively are the best in this draft and one of the best in the last few years. And while Kaapo Kakko is putting up the points, putting up the numbers, I don't know if the potential really compares to Jack Hughes, because I think Jack Hughes has potential to maybe be a top 5 player in the league at one point, which Kaapo Kakko might not get there. But this conversation is a pretty important one, because this conversation on which one has the better potential is going to have a lot of implications around the draft, the lottery, and the actual draft itself. Because let's say the LA Kings get the first overall pick or something, I'm just going out there on a limb. Let's say they get the first overall pick and they want to have the player with the more potential. And again, it is kind of a toss-up in the air right now. For me personally, I would still go with Jack Hughes, but this is going to be a discussion and a conversation leading up to the draft on not just who is the better prospect, but who has the more potential. And a lot of rebuilding teams right now need to have that answer. And for me personally, I still have Jack Hughes having the most potential out of any prospect in this 2019 NHL draft. While Kaapo Kakko is putting up elite numbers in the Liga so far this season, I feel like Jack Hughes is just on a different level when it comes to offensive potential. While Kaapo Kakko might have maybe more NHL readiness, he might be bigger and better suited for the NHL right now. I feel like Jack Hughes, once he gets conditioned to the NHL, once he gets conditioned to North American and men's leagues, I feel like at that point, Jack Hughes will flip the switch and we'll see his amazing offensive skills really explode. But again, comparing Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko in anything is super hard, because while they have their differences in the play styles, I feel like overall they are very similar players for their potentials, the overall better prospect. There's a lot of things to compare with these two, and that's what makes it so fun right now. And when it comes to the potential, I think that'll be a lot of importance to a lot of rebuilding teams. And Jack Hughes, I think, just has the slighter edge when it comes to offensive potential. And while some people might be rooting for Kaapo Kakko to go #1, depending on the team, I think Jack Hughes will be the #1 overall pick in the 2019 NHL draft. But of course, with this video, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. So let me know, which prospect do you think has the most NHL potential? Do you think Jack Hughes has the most NHL potential, or do you think Kaapo Kakko beats him out? But if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you can click on this card right here to watch my video about my top 5 best NHL prospect pools. But that is going for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko and which prospect has more NHL potential. And I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.